13 financial year to TWU?
I don't know about that exact figure, but I know there was payment, yes, but I don't know.
Roughly that figure? I mean, are you saying you don't know if it's precisely that figure to the dollar, or you just see, or do you say you've got no idea what we're talking?
I think it would be roughly consistent with the figures across those previous years, if I had to guess, but I couldn't say that that was the figure, no.
Mr. Kaine, you're entitled to maintain your position, of course, about ignorance along the lines you've been explaining in your last few answers. But the document, which is called Macmillan MFI2,
yes,
except for what I will call the right-hand third of it, in other words, I think I'm right in saying all the columns up to the column headed M are exactly the same as an exhibit which Mr. William Ernest Macmillan put into evidence yesterday, or it was tendered through him. Mr. Stoljar will correct me, they reflect the calculations of Mr. Macmillan.
Yes, that's right. Well, Mr. Macmillan and his team, yes, Commissioner.
And the new material in Macmillan MFI2 is simply the arithmetical product of the earlier columns. Is that not so?
Yes, that is correct, Commissioner.
Yep.
So do you now feel more comfortable about accepting the figures in Macmillan MFI2?
I can accept the figures on the basis of Your Honour's explanation, yes.
So you would accept... I'm sorry, did you?
I was just going to say, Mr. Kaine is starting to make me feel guilty. But this is a serious effort, which Mr. Macmillan made a serious effort to get the figures right. Yeah. He may be wrong, and you're entitled to reject or doubt any particular calculation, but it's not... There's not some elaborate ruse which Mr. Stoljar has thought up for himself.
Yes, thank you.
Well, accepting, if we accept, why don't we proceed on the basis, Mr. Kaine, that these figures are correct, and of course, if you were to take away a copy and you find any of Macmillan MFI2 and you do find some arithmetical problem with it, please do let us know. But can we proceed for the time being on the basis that these figures are correct? You accept the proposition that TW Super is an important source of revenue for the TWU?
Well, certainly there are payments made to branches in relation to arrangements with TW Super. The breakup of the payments is to, as I said, to the branches and to the National Office. So I think there's probably 6, if I could put it this way, cost units which they go. So in relation to the proportion of the revenue that each branch receives, you'd have to look at the total revenue for each branch to see whether that was significant. Again, this is a question about, obviously, a question about revenue. Of course, what these funds do, they go into the funds of the union, and the union uses those funds to then go out into the broader transport industry and, amongst other things, increase the terms and conditions, the wages of employees, which of course has benefits for them in relation to superannuation as well.
Now, I don't mean to be rude or impolite, but that was a long answer and I'm not sure it addressed my question. What I asked was, do you accept the proposition that TW Super is an important source of revenue for the TWU?
Important source of revenue? I'm not quite sure what you mean by important. If you mean, is it a source of revenue that the TW would struggle without? I don't know if I accept that proposition. If by important you mean it's significant, then I think it's fair to say it's significant.
Now, when you were negotiating the